What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be looking at how to make simple synth basses and transition effects for drill music in Serum. I've used synth basses a lot on this channel, but I've never really demonstrated, where I get them from and, how I make them. So I'm going to show you how to very quickly make a very simple synth bass that is kind of dark sounding and gets the job done. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to go over to a sine wave and then pitch that down a few octaves so it gets nice and low. You can hear that, it's very nice and deep. But you'll also hear this clicking noise when we play it, right? So you want to turn that attack up until you can no longer hear the clicking noise, and also mess with the release a little bit. And we've gotten rid of that clicking noise for the most part. Yeah, it's gone. That clicking noise is gone. And now that we got kind of the base element of the synth bass, we can start adding more stuff to it. So I like to use a sub and go over to the second option here, a round rec thing I think it's called, and I pitch that down 3 octaves as well, and we can kind of beef that up a little bit. This is before, and then after we beef that up a little bit. In terms of filters and whatnot, I like to throw on a low pass filter and make sure you put on the sub, so it'll cut out some of those higher frequencies and keep it as a synth bass as opposed to something else. In terms of oscillator B, I don't usually turn it on, but if you want to get something that's a little more chunky, you can put it on like a saw wave and kind of like put that on, turn it down a little bit, maybe turn up the unison. But for drill, I like to keep it kind of simple, kind of sine bass. But now, the thing that I'm going to do next is going to really make it more beefier, way just bigger sounding. And that's in the effects tab. We're going to turn on the distortion. And we want to make sure we set this setting on post here. And we put in this low pass filter here. Because we don't want the distortion affecting those higher frequencies. We just want it to make the bass bigger and more dirty. And we can turn the drive up. So we can hear that is way dirtier. But if you want something a little more laid back, you can turn it down a little bit. And you still got something that's sounding, really deep and really dark. You can also mess with what kind of distortion you want. Like that's going to give you a way more distorted sound. This is just going to make it sound like a fart. So, I always like to keep it on your soft clip and just somewhere around in here. And if you want more of that upper element, you can adjust that filter. So let's just play in a simple kind of synth bass melody here and see how it sounds. One more thing that I forgot to mention is down here in the voicing tab. And for synth basses, you're not going to want more than one note playing, so you can turn it on mono. That way, if you try to play multiple notes, it'll just play one. And you can also mess with the portamento down here, which allows you to slide it. This is the slide time in between, so if I hold down on like C and I'm sliding to a higher octave, and if I turn that up a little bit, you can have something like that. I like to keep it somewhat lower, so the slide is there, but I don't want it to be like too overpowering. Alright, one more thing before I play the melody. It's a little quiet right now, as you can see. I'm going to turn it up. So now it's sounding a little louder. So here's the melody. That was really loud for some reason, but that sounded good. It sounded like a good quality synth bass, something that can be used on like intros or like pre-choruses or something I would use in one of my beats or one of my videos. So yeah, that's how to make a quick synth bass. Let's move on to making transition effects. Alright, so for transition effects, you're going to want to have none of these oscillators on. What you're going to want to do is turn on the noise. So as you can hear, you got this kind of noise, standard white noise kind of thing. And If you want to be able to change the pitch on your keyboard, you click this on, and as you can see, I'm running up the keyboard and the notes changing. But for now, I'm just going to keep it just like this with no keyboard setting on. And there's tons of different noises. So you're going to want to find one that really matches that kind of sound that you want to go for your transition effect. So I'm going to go with the Shush 2 sound. It sounds like this. And I think we could really mess with that and create a really cool transition sound. So in terms of the filter, you want to turn it on so the N is checked. And what I'm going to do is put it on a slight high pass, just to cut out some of those lower frequencies. And much like we did before, I'm going to go over to distortion, and I'm going to distort the sound to get a little louder. You don't want to distort it too much though. Something else you can do is actually put a chorus on, turn up the mix a little bit. And that's going to give it a different sound. As you hear, it sounds much quieter and a little more wider. But just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to go with just a distorted kind of sound. Just beefing up that sound. So now what you want to do is hop in the piano roll and play out a note for however long you want your transition sound effect to be. I'm just going to do 2 measures here. And now what you can do with that is consolidate this track from track start and then save that as an audio file. Now that you got this audio file, you want to pop into the to this window here and normalize it to get it loud. And then what you want to do is turn up the in so you have a kind of a increasing volume sound, kind of like a ramp almost, or just like a triangle on its side. And you can turn the volume down a little bit, but now we got something that will increase in volume and build up some tension. And as you can hear, there was that clipping at the end, so you can turn the generic bleeding on and then just kind of work with this little window at the end. And as you can hear, that sound is gone now. But one of the most important things that you got to do for your riser to build some tension is modulate the pitch. And to do that, what you want to do is go to stretch. That way you can change the pitch without changing the time stretching of the actual audio file here. I'm going to increase this range up to around like 10. And I'm going to create an automation clip by right clicking on this pitch up here to put in this so I can automate the pitch. I'm just going to bring this down and let's see how this sounds here. Going up from 10 semitones down, going up to the end here. Yeah, so that is starting to sound like a very cool transition effect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to route it to the mixer here so we can put some more effects on it. So in terms of effects, I added in a slight parametric EQ, just slightly cutting some of those higher frequencies and those sub bass frequencies. I put like a chorus, did not touch anything in here. I just put it on kind of like quarter, maybe 20% mixed, and then I put a reverb just to give it a little more wetness and give it a little more texture. So all that together sounds like this. So yeah, that's how to make a basic transition effect and a basic bass sound in Serum. Now obviously you can mess around with it and do some more kind of crazy sounding stuff for stuff that really will match your sort of sound that you're going for, but I just wanted to show you guys the basics so you can dive into Serum not completely clueless on, you know, how to use it. So if you did learn something or enjoy this video, your support would be greatly appreciated. You can help support me by liking this video or dropping a comment, you know, letting me know what you thought or suggesting some future topics. I'm always open to ideas, so it'd be really great if I could hear from you guys. And also, I was checking my YouTube analytics, right? And only around 9 to 10% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So please go down right now, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell so you guys can be notified when I upload next. And if you guys want to get inspired to, you know, cook up some drill music and you like don't know where to start in terms of melodies or maybe drums or whatnot, you can download my free loop kits, which are going to be linked on the end screen. 3 out of the 4 kits in the playlist that's going to be linked are free. So you guys can download them and just kind of mess with it and learn how to create some drill melodies or create drill beats in general. So yeah, that's it for me today, guys, and I'll see you guys later.